Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Reynolds with B.O.R.E.D. Better Off Reading Every Day. Today is Poetry Fridays and I have got a good one for you tonight. It is Love Letters of Great Men, Volume 1. Now, this has about 100 and something pages, so I'm only going to read the first couple, and then you get to finish it yourself. And eventually, down the road, we'll get to finish it. So, let's give it a shot. Love Letters of Great Men. To Josephine, I love you no longer. On the contrary, I detest you. You are wroth, truly perverse, truly stupid, a real Cinderella. You never write to me at all. You do not love your husband. You know the pleasure that your letters give him, yet you cannot even manage to write him half a dozen lines, dashed off in a moment. What then do you do all day, madame? What business is so vital that it robs you of the time to write to your faithful lover? What business is so vital that it robs you of the time to write to your faithful lover? What attachment can be stifling and pushing aside the love, the tender and constant love which you promised him? Who can this wonderful new lover be who takes up your every moment, rules your days, and prevents you from devoting your attention to your husband? Beware, Josephine, one fine night the doors will be broken down, and there I shall be. In truth, I am worried, my love, to have no news from you. Write me a 4-page letter instantly. Make up from those delightful words which fill my heart with emotion and joy. I hope to hold you in my arms before long, when I shall lavish upon you million kisses, burning as the sun. Napoleon Bonaparte, 1763 to 1821, Paris, 1797. To Elizabeth Barrett Browning, would I, if I could, suppliant one of any of the affections that I know to have taken root in you, that great and solemn one, for instance, I feel that if I could get myself remade, as if turned to gold, I would not even then desire to become more than the mere setting to the diamond you must always wear. The regard and esteem you now give me in this letter, and which I press to my heart and bow my head upon, is all I can take, and all too embarrassing, using all my gratitude. Robert Browning, 1812 to 1889. Do you know, when you have told me to think of you, I have been feeling ashamed of thinking of you so much, of thinking of only you, which is too much perhaps. Shall I tell you? It seems to me, to myself, that no man was ever before to any woman what you are to me. The fulfillment must be in proportion, you know, to the vacancy, and only I what was behind, the long wilderness without the blossoming rose and the capacity for happiness, like a black gaping hole before this silver flooding. Is it wonderful that I should stand as in a dream and disbelieve not you, but my own fate? What was anyone taken suddenly from a lampless dungeon and placed upon the pinnacle of a mountain, without the head turning around and the heart turning faint as mine do? And you love me more, you say. Shall I thank you or God? Both indeed, and there is no possible return from me to either of you. I thank you as the unworthy may. And as we all thank God, how shall I ever prove what my heart is to you? How will you ever see it as I feel it? I ask myself in vain, have so much faith in me, my only beloved, as to use me simply for your own advantage and happiness, to your own ends, without a thought of any others? That is all I could ask you, without any disquiet as to the granting of it. May God bless you, your B.A. Robert Browning, 1812 to 1889, January 10th, 1846. My heart, we are thus far separated, but after all 1 mile is as bad as 1,000, which is a great consolation to one who must travel 600 before he meets you again. If it will give you any satisfaction, I am as comfortless as a pilgrim with peas in his shoes, and as cold as charity, chastity, or any other virtue. Lord Byron, 1788 to 1824, November 16, 1814. I cannot keep myself from writing any longer to you, dearest, although I have not had any answer to either of my 2 letters. I suppose your mother does not allow you to write to me. Perhaps you have not got either of my letters. I am so dreadfully afraid. Excuse me. I am so dreadfully afraid that perhaps you may think I am forgetting you. I can assure you, dearest Jeanette, you have not been out of my thoughts hardly for 1 minute since I left you Monday. I have written to my father everything, how much I love you, how much I long and pray, and how much I would sacrifice if it were necessary to be married to you and to live ever after with you. I shall not get an answer till Monday, and whichever way it lies, I shall go to the cows soon after and tell your mother everything. I am afraid she does not like me very much, from what I have heard. I would do anything she wished if she only would not oppose us. Dearest, if you are as fond of me as I am of you, nothing human could keep us long apart. This last week has seemed as an eternity to me. Oh, I would give my soul for another of those days we had together not long ago. Oh, if I could only get 1 line from you to reassure me, but I dare not ask you to do anything that your mother would disapprove of or perhaps forbidden you to do. Sometimes I doubt, so I cannot help it, whether you really like me as you said, or crows you did. If you do, I cannot fear for the future. Thus difficulties may lie in our way, only to be surrounded by patience. Goodbye, dearest Jeanette, my first and only love. Believe me ever to be, years devoutly and lovingly, Randolph Hess Churchill. Randolph Churchill, Henry Spencer Churchill, 1849 to 95, August 1873. Out of the depths of my happy heart wells a great tide of love and prayer for the priceless treasure that is confided to my lifelong keeping. You cannot see the intangible waves as they flow towards you, darling, but in these lines you will hear, as it were, the distant beating of the surf. Mark Twain, May 12, 1869. Last one, boys and girls. You still with me? I received your letter, my Everest dearest Maria. This morning, I know my anxious disposition too well not to be aware how much I feel at this time. At the distance we are from each other, every fear will obtrude itself on my mind. Let me hope that you are not really worse than your kindness, your affection for me. May you say, I think, that no more molestation will arise to the recovery of your health, which I pray for beyond every other blessing under heaven. Let us think only of the blessings that Providence may yet have in store for us, and that we may yet possess. I am happy in love, and affection exceeding 1,000 times my deserts, which have continued so many years, and is yet undiminished. Never will I marry in this world if I marry not you. Truly can I say that for 7 years since I avowed my love for you, I have foregone all company and the society of all females except my own relations for your sake. I am still ready to make my sacrifice for you. I will submit to anything you may command me, but cease to respect, to love, and adore you I never can or will. I must still think that we shall have married long ago. We should have had many troubles, but we have yet had no joys, and we could not have starved. Your friends have never been without a hope of parting us, and see what that has cost us both. But no more. Believe me, my beloved and ever dearest Maria, most faithfully your John Constable, 1776, 1837, February 27, 1816. And one bonus. Don't write too legibly or illegibly, as I have no occupation so pleasant as pondering for hours over you, for hours more trying to interpret your dark sayings. A clearly written, simply expressed letter is too like the lightning. Cuff Cooper, June 9th, 1914. And we will stop there, boys and girls, of Love Letters of Great Men, Volume 1. On the back of this book, it actually has all of the authors that are in here, and there is quite a few. Boys and girls, I chose this today because I started reading poetry. Remember we started reading poetry with this poetry book a couple of Fridays ago, and I wanted to read something that was very, very timeless, that was written long ago, to kind of get you into the mood of, around here it's fall, it's getting kind of chilly, everybody's getting kind of cozy, and love is just so fresh in the air. Love is always in the air, but I feel like it's so fresh in the air comes fall, because it's like cuddling season, it seems. That's why little boy Debbie and I, we have on our cozy socks. She's got hers on, and our cozy pajamas, cozy slip, you know, the robe, the whole 9 yards. Whenever we read to you Poetry Fridays, we will always be dressed very cozy, because I find poetry very comforting and very cozy. So, boys and girls, it is Miss Reynolds with B.O.R.E.D, Better Off Reading Every Day. And I do not own the rights to this story that I read to you today, or any of this poetry, but I do love sharing storytelling magic with you, and that is exactly what I do every time I read these stories to you. So it has been my pleasure, and I look forward to sharing more Poetry Fridays with you in the future. Also, before I forget to tell you, this fabulous book was also featured in the Sex and the City 2 movie. It is actually what the star was reading in bed to her husband, and at the very end, when they reconciled, he actually recited some of this to her. So you might want to check that out, because like it says, it's love stories of great men, and that movie does have some great men in it. It has been my pleasure, boys and girls, and I will see you soon. Love you. Bye.